Live from the misty mountains where the spirits go now, over the hills where the spirits fly. It's the Geek Show.
Remember, Booberry died for your sins. Just remember that. He died for your sins. Let's start the show. Oh, hi, everybody.
Hello.
How we doing?
Best part about Booberry, kind of like how Casper's a sequel to Richie Rich, Booberry's a sequel to Gilligan's Island.
Ah.
You know what happened to Thurston Howell.
I thought the astronauts stranded by Boeing were the sequel to Gilligan's Island.
No, that's
Did
probably
you see
space
that
nuts, you
ship
Luddite.
came back just fine? Can you imagine being those astronauts being like, oh.
But I don't think the risk was worth it. Not with Boeing's track record, that's for sure.
And here's the other thing. You know, you spend all that money, you spend all that time to go up and do a moonwalk, or a spacewalk, I mean. And it's more of like a gopher sticking his head out of the hole.
Oh yeah,
you know?
that was the the first
ahead.
private spacewalk. Though.
Go ahead,
Groundhog
step
Day in
outside.
space.
Step outside, man. You spent
me?
the money.
I'd be terrified that something would happen.
You know how much... No, legit. You know how much space trash is out there?
Yeah,
A lot.
Not safe.
all
Yeah.
it takes is a bolt flying.
Not even a
through
bolt.
orbit. Yeah.
Just broken TNT and TBS satellites just everywhere.
He used to be referred to as space trash. He's Lee George Cade.
Yeah.
Used to be.
Oh, yeah.
Used to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a star man. But now I'm happy to accept I did win the mayoral election. I'm now the mayor-elect of Buca di Beppo.
That's a
It's
restaurant.
pretty exciting. I'm bringing back endless pasta and shrimp bowls, y'all.
Yay, thank you.
I know that
Thank
put
you.
Olive Garden out of business, but I've got a plan.
Olive Garden is still around.
Can I?
Oh no, they're not.
Can I have that Pope statue for Buca di Beppo?
Yeah.
I'd
Whatever
like
you
to-
want.
And
Yeah.
if you could repaint it and make it look like Booberry.
Oh
that
no,
would be
but you
great.
see, we're redoing our Pope statues. They're gonna all be sexy popes. So
I'm in. I love this
Yeah.
idea.
This
Yeah.
is my new thing. I'm going to take all religious statues and make them into Booberry. That's just what I've decided.
with Italian cliff divers, blueberries, we're gonna have it all.
I'm all for
Okay,
it.
Carrie, is it just the statues, or would you like Buddy Christ from Dogma?
Him too.
Yeah, you got to have him too. for
Okay,
sure.
just making sure. Just
All
making sure.
blueberries, because he died
And-
for your sins.
And Walt Flanagan's dog.
He's here to ask the hard questions. He's Robert Neal, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
And Master of Ships, there he is, Jay Washington. Hi. Thanks for joining us, Jay.
No, this
Other
is
Jay.
Whitaker.
Other Jay.
This is a
What?
different Jay.
Different Jay.
Oh, I said Jay. Oh,
Jesus.
God.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I was.
dude.
Ask him what's in his wallet. next.
I was texting at him, and I'm sorry I was texting at him. Anyway, Jay,
If
Jay
you're
Whitaker.
gonna be
No, it's all
confused,
good,
that's a
Gina.
Jay
Thank
to
you
get
so much,
confused
man.
with.
Jay is coming
Thank
to
you
town.
so much. It's so nice to be here on Radio from Hell.
I was tweeting him earlier. I'm sorry, but Jay Whitaker is coming to town, and he'll be here at the end of the month at Wise Guys. I had someone-
It'll be a good time. Should have some new adventures.
And speaking of my radio show, I had someone call in to remind my listeners that you were coming to town on our open phone feature.
Yep.
That shit's crazy. That shit's crazy to me. That's really cool. So whoever did that, thank you. I appreciate it. And
Yes.
I will give you a firm handshake with 3 seconds of eye contact.
Oh, that's more than I can give anyone.
Upgrade.
That's
the
quality.
upgrade package.
That's quality. Quad T, it's more than he can give.
That's
Too
right.
tall, Tony.
Everything's more than I can give these days. Thanks for tuning in.
And she is a childless cat lady. She's Rebecca Frost.
Yeah. How about the debate, everybody?
You still have a cat? I heard they get
Oh, Lord, let's-
everyone's eating them. I heard. How do you still have a cat?
Hey, people are gonna die because of this joke.
Yeah, I know. I was participating in the joke earlier in the week, and then
Wait,
I
what?
realized
Why
probably-
would people die?
Because they're sending
Because
in
of the
bomb threats.
right-wing nut jobs.
Are
Yeah,
you
bomb-
serious?
Yeah.
Two
bomb
two
threats, yeah.
bomb threats have already been called into schools, Tony.
What is wrong with these people?
yeah, well,
well,
that's
it's-
another show.
It starts with conditioning, it leads to brainwashing, and then it leads to our host, Kerry Jackson.
Oh yes, thank you.
Whoa.
And I'm not childless. I'm child free. Thank you.
Yeah, childless implies I want them.
Thank you for reminding me, Brad. Monday through Friday, 6 to 10, x96.com.
Hey, quick question. Egg Foo wants to know which wise guys.
Oh, the Jordan Landing, right?
Okay.
I think Jay's
Yeah,
on
Jordan
the way.
Landing. Jordan Landing.
Yep.
Yeah. Jay's out on a ship headed to
on a boat.
Alaska.
It's gotta go to
so
space and back.
it's got to go to space.
Literally.
Now, everybody says he's telling jokes. I believe he's fighting pirates. So you guys decide
said
which
you can't do
reality is
both?
more entertaining.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Rob. I was going to say that.
I mean, Ben Grimm did it.
True.
True.
All right, let's get a look at some stuff. Well, we got a trailer this week for the the latest Venom movie.
This one will be good, we promise.
They
I'm
mean it this time.
excited.
I have to say, this trailer looked interesting. I mean, let's be honest. The first one, okay.
I enjoyed
Second one, oh, what happened there?
it. It still had some funny stuff.
It had some funny stuff in it.
But it's not supposed to be a comedy, kids.
Well,
LGBTQIA icon
It's
Venom.
pronounced legibity.
legitimately.
Okay.
It's according to both of my legibity kids. I think they might be fooling me.
Legibity sounds like a new medication that you see advertised on late night TV.
Is this
Do
in
you
the
have
same
legibity?
lexicon as skibbity?
Yeah, no.
What is skibbity?
I don't know, dude.
Ask your high school guidance counselor if legibity is good for you. All right.
Well, it is. I mean, all diversity is good.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, this is Venom: The Last Dance, third and it says final chapter from Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock Venom series. This one looked pretty fun, I have to say. There was a great scene at the beginning where Venom / Eddie are on the outside of a jet, hanging on for dear life, and Tom Hardy says, "I don't know how Tom Cruise does this." But yeah, go watch the trailer. It looks like it might be interesting. October 25th is when it opens.
Venom discovers gambling.
He goes to Las Vegas. Yes, he does. And we get the arrival of a Venom villain, Null. K-N-U-L-L. Null.
That's kind of
Yo, the
surprising.
symbiote king, the symbiote god.
Yeah.
That's fire right there.
I don't
Yeah,
think they'd go that deep into the lexicon.
I
Yeah,
was-
but the thing is,
yeah.
how much are you going to get of him?
Yeah.
And Null is a pretty big deal in Marvel, so
That's
is
true.
Sony just kind of going, meh.
Maybe.
We stole your Spider God. Meh.
I do something that has not been answered for me, and I did a light Google, and I couldn't find anything. The trailer shows Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe is Kraven's papa in the Kraven movie.
Right.
I didn't
Oh,
catch Russell Crowe in the
that's
trailer. I
true.
didn't look that
He's
closely.
it's like blink and you miss it, but Russell
Okay.
Crowe is there, and so I'm wondering if they're trying to tie this into the Kraven movie.
Well, I mean, the Kraven movie comes in what?
December.
December. Yeah.
December, right? Yeah.
But I mean, they are making their own. I mean, it's not surprising to me because Sony has been trying forever to make their own Spider-Verse without Spider-Man. But so it doesn't surprise me that they do this crossover. Like, hey, maybe if we do this, it's kind of like seeding like the end credit scenes from Marvel. Hey, see this guy here? He's going to show up again in 3 months.
Yeah.
I mean, they also tried that with Morbius. Remember at the end of Morbius, they got
No,
Michael
I don't.
Keaton there.
I don't.
Well, maybe they should just stop trying to make it the Spider-Verse and just make it the Venom-verse. That's just an idea. I don't know.
Sony has the rights to Miles Morales. I don't know why they don't do a live action, because Tom Holland is on record as saying, "I'm not going to do a Spider-Man movie with Sony. Just not going to do it."
Well, word on the streets is that's what they're doing in Spider-Man 4.
Well, I got that story coming up. But you could easily do a Miles Morales movie, and Sony should try that. They'd ruin it, but
No. Okay, hold on. They've done 2, and they've been good.
That's
well,
true.
the animated ones, yes.
Right. I'm just saying they've done Miles Morales movies. I would love to see a live action. Don't get me wrong. I would just, but we've had 2 really good Miles Morales movies. You would think maybe it's like DC's
And we're
live
only
action versus
getting
their
2.
animated studio, where it's like we can make great animated movies. Our live action movies,
Well, I would love to see a live action Miles Morales. I just think that Sony would screw it up. I don't have no faith in them.
They had their chance in the last Spider-Man movie. Holy shit, they were literally in New York. Miles Morales is in Brooklyn. He was stuck on the A train. That's it's ridiculous.
Yeah. We'll talk about Spider-Man 4 coming up here in a bit. Another trailer that dropped this week is HBO series, The Franchise.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like The Nanny, just a bunch of nannies with Fran Drescher.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Fashion icon.
This is the crew of an unloved franchise movie fighting for their place in a savage and unruly cinematic universe.
So the people at Sony.
Yeah, basically. That's what I'm going to imagine it as I watch this. The comedy shines a light on the secret chaos inside the world of superhero movie making to ask the questions, how exactly does the cinematic sausage get made? Because every fuck-up has an origin story.
I am intrigued.
Yeah, it's you got Hamish Patel. He's the lead on this one. He is the character is described as a scrotum resting on a razor's edge.
Whoa. So constantly stressed.
Yeah, I did not write that.
What now? What?
Yeah, can you say that again, please?
He is described as a scrotum resting on a razor's edge.
That just sounds uncomfortable.
Now, the movie that they're making is called Tecto: Eye of the Storm.
This sounds like something out of The Boys.
It
Something.
does sound like the boys.
Well, and Aya Cash is in it, so there you go.
Hey, right there.
Yeah. Hamish Patel as Daniel, Aya Cash as Anita. It looked interesting to me. Daniel Bruhl is there. Richard E. Grant is there, so you got some actual people who have been in these Marvel projects.
Zemo. That's why he looks familiar. I was just about to look it up. Okay.
Tony.
October 6th on HBO will be available to stream on Max. Looks interesting.
What's it called again?
It's
The
called
Franchise.
The Franchise.
Yeah, I think I'll give
Not
that a shot.
nannies.
The franchise.
I like your nanny's idea, though.
I don't know. That would get annoying really fast, I think.
I don't know.
That voice after a certain while.
that? Why?
Oh, Mr. Sheffield.
Fashion
I rest my case.
icon.
I watched that show on mute.
Again, I rest my case.
Rude. Rude.
She was very appealing to me when I was 15.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
As
For the
long as she
outfit.
was silent.
No, the outfits.
Oh, man.
I wasn't
always-
objectifying her. I was
sorry.
objectifying her outfits.
I always thought she was hot.
Yeah, well, she was in Spinal Tap, Carrie. You wanted everybody in Spinal Tap.
That's true. Everybody.
Yeah.
No,
Especially here.
y'all,
Yeah.
y'all don't understand. Fran Drescher
No, she's awesome. She's amazing.
Yeah,
She's very funny.
She had the outfits, the fashion. She's very funny. Great voice. Icon. Love it.
All right. Just a couple of little bits of housekeeping here. First of all, of course, geekshow.store is still available. You can get your merchandise there. And speaking of merchandise, we've got our friend. Let's see. I want to make sure I get his address here. Michael Beck is making these. Let me show them to you if you're watching on YouTube.
Let me zoom it in on you.
This is wood, and it's got the Geek Show logo on it. It's a coaster,
Coasters.
and they're very nice. And so he is going to have these on his Etsy page. So go and take a look. It's etsy.com/shop/trains and stuff shop. Oh, you got one too, Tony.
Got one too.
I've got one.
Mine is over here, but it's under a bunch of stuff.
Trains and stuff shop, and you can. Pick
I ain't
those
got that
up
shit.
there. We'll send you one on the boat.
Jay,
doesn't know
you
what
ain't seen
boat you're
Led
on.
Zeppelin either.
I've got a bunch of them here for you, Jay. Just I didn't know where to send them. What?
All right, I'll come pick them up in 2 weeks.
Yeah, all right. I'll give them to you then. But you can get those there. That's a place. Also, of course, our Patreon, geekshowgotthiscovered.com. I made a couple of new videos this week from the Time Closet. The Space Show drops early there. And you get the after party as well, which is us doing this just after this podcast. We just keep going.
And less structured,
And much less structured, yes.
if you can believe it.
And it
I
usually,
can't believe it.
it usually wanders into food.
Because we're hungry.
Nom, nom, nom.
Speaking of food, well, drink anyway. AMC theaters Now, see this makes it look good. This
MacGuffin's bar.
this picture. It's the Beetlejuice promotional drink at AMC theaters. It's getting attention on social media for its seemingly exorbitant price. It's called a Sandworm Slayer.
I think you mean exorbitant.
Exorbitant? Oh, forgive me. I'm tired, you guys.
Tony, leave him alone.
I was on the air for 12 hours yesterday, and so
I thought you were up after 6.
no,
I was up after 6:30 last night.
I was on the air from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. yesterday.
No,
so-
those are brutal.
So I'm going to make some mistakes today. The exorbitant price, the Sandworm Slayer specialty drink topped with gummy worms,
Yeah.
$31. Now,
Oh.
Wow.
now again, there's the
Oh,
picture. This is what you
that's-
get.
Not as cool looking.
It's in an ordinary plastic cup.
Plastic
I'd
cup.
go make that upstairs right now.
Right?
Okay, now the Sandworm Slayer. To get the alcoholic version of it, you have to go to the MacGuffin's bar at AMC. Now, and of course, not all states have these. It's a let me find the ingredients for it. It's something that you could possibly make.
Yeah, is it just an AMF?
They still
No.
gave it an 8 out of 10. Look at that.
I know, right?
I used
20
to make this in high school.
Exactly.
No, this is just you take some of each
is
soda
just
in the
riot
fountain and then put some gummy worms in it.
Okay,
Pulled that out of somebody's windshield wiper reservoir.
I know. It's a 24-ounce cocktail made with blue and black raspberry juice and something referred to as a premium vodka. So,
Not even
Yo.
blue carousel.
not even. No.
Guys, they've made a mistake. Just start making. Why not make an intimate bucket like everyone else? Like
Exactly.
intimate popcorn buckets.
mean-
That's what we need.
At least go back to that other picture, Rebecca. At least put it in this glass.
Yeah, that glass looks cool.
Yeah.
You know, and let you keep
Smashable
the
bucket.
glass.
You can't have glass in a movie theater because if
Well,
it breaks on the ground,
sure
how are you gonna see it?
I'm sure it's plastic, but anyway,
You
30.
said premium vodka, Carrie? Is it top shelf McCormick or Popov?
I'm sure it's plastic bottle pop off. But yeah, at MacGuffin's bar, and so if it's $31, and do you tip? You know, when
No.
you
I'm dying to know what's
Oh, it depends.
dollar
Does Michael
per-
Keaton serve it to you?
like dollar per gummy worm. How much are we charging per gummy worm here? Like
many-
$5.
I want my fuckable bucket. All right.
exactly
Apparently $7 per gummy worm at this rate.
Yeah.
Now, AMC is defending this. They say, of
They
course they
would.
would. They're gonna Donald Trump this. Like so many of our movie tie-in drinks, it's wildly popular across the AMC circuit and sold very well during opening weekend.
I'm sorry you said that, and I'm hearing Stephen Colbert as Donald Trump saying that, and it's hilarious in my head.
$31 for a drink in a Dixie cup. It's,
Yeah,
no, that's in stage capitalism right there, kids.
exactly. And
Yeah.
and
Give the people what they want.
I get that, but if you're buying this,
Portable healthcare.
have your head examined.
En esta economía?
Give us the Beetlejuicy bucket.
You could go across the street from an AMC theater to a bar and get a fairly decent, reasonable cocktail for $10. Anyway, so there it is. The sand. I don't even remember the name of it. It's that bad. The Sandworm
Sandworm
Slayer. Okay.
Oh, it's like blue Gatorade, vodka, and gummy worms.
That's what it looks
I could do this right now upstairs.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll pass on that. Just as Josh Brolin has passed. Oh, he's fine. No,
Way.
Whoa, whoa.
He's okay.
he's just fine.
Suck it,
He's
Tony.
fine, just fine.
I mean,
Just-
either way you could have taken that story was bad. One was much worse than the other.
He's just fine, Josh Brolin.
He got the offer. He said, "Oh, I think I'll do some research." Pulled up the Ryan Reynolds movie and walked away.
Well, I think he probably
shame.
just called Ryan and said,
No.
"Tell me about this Green Lantern." Oh my God.
Okay, so I know that you're going to inflame Tony with that comment,
I'm sorry.
but I'm going to say going from scrotum chin to Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's one thing, but I mean,
he's cable too.
he's
true.
cable, and I'm trying to rein in my
mean-
Green Lantern love, so I don't fanboy this too much.
No,
Okay.
just fanboyed up.
No. I can do
need
it without fanboying
I
it.
need it.
The Green Lantern character, the characters, actually, they'll go all 7,200 of them,
Well,
are,
Oh, that's too many.
it's space cops.
How
It's
dare you?
space cops.
Yeah, okay,
That's
that's,
not
too many.
It may not be, like Tony said, maybe not enough. Good characters, if written well. The movie has horrible warts and all on it. I still like it for a number of reasons, mostly because you can watch it with your kids and not be like, "Ooh, you can't see this."
That's true.
that's true.
It's a silly
I remember
movie,
that.
and I think that they skewed it towards kids because they were like, "We're going a little silly with this. We're going fun and fanciful." Not a great movie. I will be the first to admit that, but kind of fun if you could just kind of go shovel
Yep.
popcorn and be happy.
And see, I maintain that you got a Green Lantern movie.
And that's the thing. There's been so many versions of the Green Lantern over the last like 70 years or whatever. Not just characters, but I mean like takes on that comic book. Or
Yes.
that, and so yeah, there's been some goofy ones, and so
Well,
it's
this-
just
Nort. That's all
I
I'm
want-
saying.
I'm curious as to he doesn't in any statement he doesn't say why he said no.
Which
He
I think
was-
is the best.
they
I
were-
chose not to do it.
you don't need to say why.
This is the plot of the Green Lantern TV series, and with the pedigree on this, I'm surprised he turned it down because you've got some real good writers. So what it was is he was going to play Hal Jordan, schooling a younger Lantern, John Stewart.
So he'd have been.
I got issues.
He'd have been a little.
I got issues with that.
I got a big issue with
They're
that.
supposed to be about the same age. A.
That's the thing right there. And
No,
and
I mean-
schooling him is the other one.
Well, that's it. It's
it would have been an interesting take. I don't think it would have been the right take, but
if I'd have said reluctantly mentoring, would have that
No, not even that.
hit better?
No, their first meeting was highly antagonistic because,
they're so different.
well, they're so different. Hal was very much the Guardian's lapdog at that point, and very much the apple. He was to the Green Lanterns what Cyclops was to the X-Men early with Professor X. Just
Oh,
like,
cool as
"You want me to
shit."
do this?"
No,
So John Stewart comes and is like, "I'm not doing that shit.
Mhm.
I'm going to go do this way." And Jordan was like, "You can't do it that way." So this whole schooling him thing.
Well, this is again the pedigree behind this TV series is impressive. You got the guy from Ozark, Chris Mundy, he's show running. Damon Lindelof, who did Watchmen, which was terrific,
And Lost.
and Lost. Okay, so I'd be curious as to why he said no. I'd just be curious.
Not enough zeros.
Do you
I have
here's
an
what
idea.
I'm hoping is because I'm hoping they recenter the story on John Stewart because do you know who they should cast as John Stewart?
Ooh,
me.
Aaron Pierre
Me?
from Rebel Ridge.
that guy, yes.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I'll give you
wa-
that one.
I watched that this week, by the way.
But I already cast Mike Coulter in my head canon.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good choice too.
No,
I
No.
cast him as everybody.
no.
This
I would
guy
go back
right
to
here.
Common. Go back to
He's-
Common.
He's Cyclops. Common's really good in a lot of things, including my wife's 1992 crochet scrapbook book that has Common modeling hats on it.
Mm-hmm.
You
But I
don't
took-
believe me? I'll prove it.
No, you know what?
I don't think it's.
I would
an
take it
issue
as
of not
gospel.
believing.
I'm good.
Yeah.
But you guys advised me last week to watch that Rebel Ridge, and I did. And it was very good. And this guy
It was fun.
is my wife described him as he's intense and smoldering,
Yes.
you know.
Handsome.
and,
be a
and
good
extremely
Cyclops.
looking.
Well, if you do the Cyclops,
I have an
the
idea.
variant Cyclops,
How to
Yes.
fix this.
Now,
Okay. Can I? Let me just
Please.
close up, please. Thank you.
let him cook. Let him cook.
I want
Oh,
to
he
tell you. I
wants
want to tell
close
y'all.
up. We
Yeah,
got
I
you.
need to cook. I need to cook on this one. All right. So here's how you fix. Here's how you fix the Green Lantern. Okay. This is what you do. You do like we all have our Law and Order shows. We have our Chicago Fire, Chicago PD. We have 7,200 cops that are patrolling, Green Lanterns that are patrolling the damn galaxy. You focus on. You get Guy Gardner. You get Kyle. You get Hal. You get John. You get them all together. You get them all together, and you do like a Law and Order SVU, and you get a monthly like you bounce around from different Green Lanterns. See how
Anthology
their
show.
stories.
Ooh.
Because I mean, it's
Like
too
like
too
how
many.
Chicago there's Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Chicago Medical.
Yes.
Yeah.
and you do different sectors because there's just too much. You got 7,200. You got 7,200 lanterns. How the fuck are you gonna do that? So just like mix it up.
How are you gonna do that?
That sounds fun.
And just
I'd watch
like
that.
Listen, as
yeah,
long as
and
I
then
get,
so you have
as long as I get the squirrel.
Jon Stewart mentoring the other ones. Yeah, I don't know.
Get Chip in there.
Chip,
I want
no,
Chip
Chip's
in
dead.
there.
You have to have Bidge now.
Ah, right.
Oh, okay.
What about Broccoli
and Green
guy?
Boy, Green Boy 28 is correct. Aldous Hodge has been the voice of Jon Stewart for the DC Tomorrowverse for the past X number of movies they've done.
That's true. He'd be good.
So he's not just Hawkman; he's also Green Lantern.
He'd be good. Yeah.
They could even get the guy. Is that the same guy that voiced Jon Stewart in the Justice League? No, that's a different
No,
guy,
that
right?
was
Different guy.
Phil Lamar.
Phil Lamar.
Yes.
Because they could get Phil Lamar to be a Jon Stewart in live action, and I think he'd do a great job.
Interesting.
Andrew, you're thinking of Rotlop Fan.
The what now?
Rotlop Fan, the sound Green Lantern or the sound lantern, the F sharp bell. That's what he's called because he can't see, so he can't create. So they do things through sound. So his ring is a bell that is in the key of F sharp.
I had no idea.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Robert. Let's see. On to Spider-Man 4. Okay. This is a team up with Marvel Studios and Sony.
Yay.
Kevin Feige. And Tom Holland is coming back as Spider-Man, and they've got their director, and it is Destin Daniel Cretton, who did Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. He will be directing Spider-Man 4, and I guess he must have done a good job on Wonder Man because it's in post-production, and Marvel said, come and play with Spider-Man. So maybe he did a good job on the Wonder Man series that he was doing. Yeah, so it is going forward. And Tom Holland said, I sat down with all the Marvel people and said, okay, let's talk about 4. Why should we? Where would we go? And they must have come up with something because he was
Brooklyn to find Miles.
because he was hesitant for a while.
Spider Island.
They say, well, we're going to do this story. Also, here's your check. Look at all those zeros.
Oh, they're
Wow, so many zeros.
You want to play? You
we
want
need to make a movie so outrageously camp, so inexplicably weird that only Rebecca Frost wants to watch it.
They made that. It's called Madam Web.
Now wait a second.
Yeah, they did. They did do that.
This is Sony, not A24. So.
Oh,
There we go.
I will leave Marvel if this is a multiverse movie.
Well,
Well,
good
start
knowing
packing
you.
your bags.
Well, let's not forget what happened at the end of the third Spider-Man with Tom Holland. There was the Doctor Strange memory wipe, and they closed up the multiverses there. But the memory wipe included everybody. Nobody knows who Peter is now.
Even Peter.
Well, Peter does.
Well, Peter
but
knows.
He's the only one.
No, he doesn't. He's just faking it.
I didn't see it. Did it affect Aunt May?
Yeah, it affected Aunt May in a very large way, Lee.
I don't think it was the memory wipe that affected Aunt May
She definitely
much as
doesn't
the-
remember him.
as much
yeah.
as the giant eye beam.
Yeah, she's.
I saw it. Thanks for playing along.
I'm glad I could help. I could help. But anyway, so he says the first few meetings were, why would we do this again? And I think we found a reason why.
Multiverse.
So
Why would we do this again?
Dump truck of cash.
Actually, no. Let's take this. So if they're not doing multiverse, why would we do this again? If they need to find a good reason, it is some other spider person has shown up. Miles has been bitten off screen, which I'd be fine with. He's running around in like the first Into the Spider-Verse movie, running around in an oversized Peter costume, just doing stuff because he's seen Spider-Man. He's like, I can do that too. And Peter tracks him down and then mentors him like Jon Stewart. Oh, wait, sorry.
Oh, does he school him?
he schools him.
I'm actually okay with, I mean, in this case, I'm okay with it because Peter has been Spider-Man for X number of years at this point.
Right.
Well,
and
and-
Miles is a rookie.
And let's
makes
not
sense.
forget that we got 2 more Avengers movies coming. And, you know, Doom is going to be in one of them at least, in Secret Wars.
And we also, this gives us another tie-in to, if they choose not to go Young Avengers, which they haven't confirmed what they're going to call it yet, since they already have Miss Marvel on board. Miles is on a team with her called the Champions, so they could angle it away from the Avengers titles to Champions.
But with multiverses.
That's
Shut
a thought. Jay, did you find the Love Boat episodes in your on demand there?
It looks like he might have. Hey, is that Isaac the bartender?
There's Isaac right there.
Yep.
Oh, they're so bad, Jay. Watch them. You will laugh and laugh and laugh.
Or cry.
Or cry. They're so bad.
Why not both?
All right. Let's see. Now, this sounds interesting. This is a novel. It's not a comic book. It's called Crime 101, and it's by Don Winslow. And so we've got Mark Ruffalo and Chris Hemsworth. They're in talks to do this movie. This is Amazon MGM Studios, Crime 101. Bart Layton, who wrote the script, Peter Strawn, set to direct the movie. Here's the plot, and I like this. Published in 2021, Crime 101 centered on Detective Lou Lubensnick as he attempts to solve a string of jewel heists.
What do I name my character?
Well, his first name's Lou. What should I do for a last name?
People like alliteration.
Yeah. Lubensnick.
Lou.
He attempts to solve a string of jewel heists by tracking the perpetrator, who follows a strict set of rules known as Crime 101. So,
It's NCIS in reverse. It's like Gibbs Rules, but just with crime.
There you go. And we get to see Hulk and Thor on the screen again today. Yeah, there you go. I'd like to see that.
This is the same author who wrote Power of the Dog?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I hope this is better.
In this movie, they get to be friends from work again.
Yeah.
All right. This story I found, and it's I admit it made me sad when I saw this. Jonathan Majors.
Oh God, I get the right costume. Good.
There you go. He is scheduled on this weekend to be at the Valley Forge Casino Resort in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, for a Comic-Con. It's the Famous Monsters Fest. Famous Monsters of Filmland is a magazine. Okay. And he will be there signing autographs for $140 a pop.
Let the man earn his money.
Yeah.
Period. Full stop.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm glad he's doing this, but at the same time, I wish he was making movies, But there you go. It's a little something that I found kicking around there. Thought I'd bring it to you, see what you thought. Famous Monsters of Filmland, great magazine. I remember when I was a kid picking it up all the time. Right there, Lee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lee has one. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's take a closer look at that.
Let's look at that. Oh, I remember that movie.
Is a frog eating a hand?
I remember that movie. It's terrible.
This was sent to me while I was in recovery from one of our Geekshow peeps. Let me find. He sent me a really nice note too. So this was like, let me get the props set up. I don't have the note. Anyway, really.
But it was nice.
You just gotta believe me. It was pretty good.
I was near comatose when I opened it, but yeah, I hadn't seen an issue of Famous Monsters in like 30 years, so really awesome.
Well, I guess it's one of the guys from Slipknot bought the magazine or the rights to the magazine.
Not a sentence I thought I'd ever hear.
No,
I know, right? Slipknot. Corey Taylor from Slipknot.
That's the singer, I think.
Yeah, and he's the front man. And film producer Eben McGarr. They bought the
like,
rights.
Can we buy this from you? It hasn't been seen in 30 years, so we'll give you $7 and one of my masks from the concert last week.
Basically, yeah. It's some of the other people appearing at the con will be, George Takei. Sorry, George.
Jeez.
Oh, you're going to get corrected again,
I'll
Gary.
get corrected again. Sorry, George.
Actually.
Oh, he was very mad at me when I
Yeah.
said it wrong. He was very.
I heard the clip.
And you did it again? You didn't learn your lesson?
Yeah, I know. Let's see. Peter Criss from Kiss. He's the cat.
Wow.
Oh.
Andy Serkis is there. Carolyn
He's been
Monroe. Remember Carolyn Monroe?
I'm actually going to go to King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, and ask Andy Serkis, who the hell does he think he is trying to make 2 movies out of a mention of the Hunt for Gollum in any Tolkien book?
Yeah, get him.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
You'll show him.
Yeah.
Carrie. Carolyn Monroe, Bond girl.
Yes, she was a Bond girl.
Okay.
She was also a Hammer horror movie girl.
Yes, she was. And also in Star Crash.
Oh, Star Crash. I would show you pictures of Carolyn Monroe from this phenomenal book, House of Horror, the history of the Hammer horror, but they're not safe for work.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah.
and finally this. Eric Kripke was interviewed recently, and they were talking to him about the...
That's what he looks like?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude.
I'm so glad he's being...
Every picture I tried to find of him, he looked so uncomfortable, like he needed to go take a shit or something.
That is awesome.
This is why you're not supposed to drink milk, Eric.
There you go.
It's awesome.
He was being interviewed about the final season of The Boys, and he had this to say. There will probably be lots of death.
Wow.
One would assume, yeah.
Shocker.
He says, so many series finales suck. It's really hard to land the plane. I'm grateful to Amazon for giving me the opportunity to end it on our own terms, but sure, it feels like lots and lots of pressure to end it well, because I think if we can stick the landing, then people will be like, that's a great show. But if we shit the bed, people will say, no, it was a good
Game
show.
of Thrones.
It was
That
a good
is
show.
how that
they shit the bed.
goes, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
And Peter Dinklage is still out defending the last season of Game of Thrones. And he had a good reason. He says, I liked it. I don't care what you think. I liked it.
That's opinions.
I
Everyone
liked
can
it.
have their own
I
opinion.
liked it until the last 2 episodes.
I would agree with that, Lee.
Yeah, they did some good stuff, and then all of a sudden, like, you know what? Yeah, Khaleesi should be the bad guy. It's like, that's not what I wrote.
Come on now.
She got
Dummies.
her period.
Yeah.
Oh, all they had to do was say that. I would have understood.
Yeah.
And finally. And finally. Let's raise our $31 Beetlejuice glass to
Yep.
James Earl Jones.
Yep.
Also, Doom.
Alex Haley.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes.
I was trying to. I saw something saying, all of his credits. I'm like Roots, and I'm like, who was he in Roots? And it took me the longest time to remember he was Alex Haley at the very end of Roots, and I'm just like, go ahead, brother, do it.
Yeah. He was, of course, in Doctor Strangelove. That was the first time I saw him. And, of course, in Conan. Oh, he was the
Thulsa Doom. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has that great "Steel isn't strong" boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
And Conan's like, "You killed my father. You killed my mother." And he's like, "So watch this lady jump.
And
Watch this lady jump off a cliff."
he was awesome in that.
Yeah.
yeah. He was menacing. And, a little thing called Star Wars. He was...
Maybe you've heard of it.
Maybe you've heard of it.
The first movie I remember seeing him in was that baseball one.
Field of Dreams.
No, The Sandlot.
Sandlot.
Really?
Yeah. That was my first kind of real memory of James Earl Jones and being like, that guy has the coolest voice. Holy cow, he is awesome.
He should do
And the
commercials
way-
for CNN.
The way he tells the story of him and Babe Ruth, competing on the Yankees. Oh man, that was the thing that stuck in my head about that movie at the time. I was like, dang, that guy's cool.
Yeah, I saw him in Great White Hope when I was a little kid.
Oh, man.
Did not understand the movie. Well, my mom liked to take me to drive-in theaters and think I was asleep.
I have this little thing here.
This is the end.
All right.
Andrew, yes, he was great in not just the Hunt for Red October, but also Patriot Games and whatever the third movie was, Clear and Present Danger,
And
as Admiral Greer.
also look up the Letterman Top 10 clip.
That was genius.
Top 10 things that sound cool being said by James Earl Jones.
Oh, is that where we got Totes My Goats?
No.
Oh,
Where did
that's
Totes My Goats come from? Now I'm curious.
There's a scene of him, and it's used
Is
as
that
a
literally
gif
just
a
from a
lot.
commercial?
He says, "Totes my goats."
I feel like that's
It's so good.
just a commercial.
Maybe that was.
Anyway, there we go. So, I mean, he will be Darth Vader forever because they fed all of his Darth Vader dialogue into this AI that was created in Ukraine, oddly enough, and they're able to recreate his voice now. And he signed off on this.
He was one of the first people to do that, though.
Yeah.
When they were, this is like early in the AI and digital recordings phase. He was one of the first people to go, I can't do this forever, and record it, not just take the existing recordings, but he did some other just phonetic recordings so that they could piece together stuff for him. And he's like, yeah, do it. So we get this Darth Vader forever.
Yeah.
The sad part is
He's immortal.
Yeah.
Yep.
There wasn't enough RAM in the computer, so they had to get rid of Majel Barrett.
No. James Earl Jones's Totes My Goats. He did a commercial with Malcolm McDowell for Sprint.
That's
Yes,
where it's from.
I remember
Okay.
this commercial.
That's a team up. Malcolm McDowell
Yeah.
and James Earl Jones. All right. What did we consume this week? Who wants to go first? Jay.
I would like to go first. I'll go first because I'm on a delay, and then honestly, I gotta run for a show. Get ready.
Okay.
But I do want to say I said this on the secret episode or the Patreon episode. If you're not watching Fight Night on Peacock, you are wrong. Like that is with Samuel Jackson, Kevin Hart, Terrence Howard, Taraji P. Henson, and some amazing. It's an amazing cast. I'm 4 episodes in. Kevin Hart, I was a little skeptical how he's going to play a black man from Atlanta when he's originally from Philly, but he's fun, he's charming. Samuel Jackson is just Samuel Jackson. Terrence Howard is just Terrence Howard. Taraji P. Like everyone's playing familiar roles, but it's just such a great. You have like 5 bona fide movie stars on a show, and it's great. The fashion is amazing. The soundtrack is great. It's engaging. It's actually Peacock's highest streaming debut ever. So so it's doing very well. So go ahead, just jump on the bandwagon and get you some shrimp and grits and just enjoy this great show.
I'm going to.
I have been watching. I've also been watching The Love Boat for the last 10 minutes in the background. I do not recommend it.
No.
It's because you have to give it your full attention, Jay.
Yeah. Rebecca, when have I given something my full attention? I'm literally looking out the window while I'm talking to everyone. I'm doing the best I can. It's beautiful out right now. I recommend that you come see my comedy show if you can. You know what? If anything, I'd recommend 2 comedians that I really want you to check out right now. One is Dulce Sloan, Dulce Sloan. I'm going to be on tour with her for a little bit. She's nominated for an Emmy for The Daily Show. Just cross your fingers, hope she wins. And I do want you to check out Josh Johnson. He's worked with her as well on The Daily Show. They had a podcast together. This man was just written up in the LA Times.
He's so funny on The Daily Show.
His stand-up is good too.
He got a write-up in the LA Times for writing 22 hours of comedy and releasing it on YouTube. 22 hours.
Whoa.
For those who don't, like, in 1 year, he released 22 hours. I don't know if you know, like, I have 3 hours of comedy in my brain ready to go. But, like, 22 hours in a year is just insane. So go to his YouTube and just enjoy. So that's really it. And unfortunately, I gotta check out because I gotta get to a show. But I send you guys a lot of love. I miss you guys. Can't wait to see you guys in 2 weeks. And much love to y'all.
Jay.
Take care, Jay.
Jay, I love you.
Yes, I love you too, Lee.
Thanks, Jay.
Bye.
Have a good show, man.
Love
Good
you
luck.
guys. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Good to see you. Be safe on the boat.
Safe on the boat. All right,
That was the
Rob.
boat theme.
Rob,
Yeah,
you
I
want
would
to
actually
next?
follow. I want to follow up what Jay was saying about Fight Night. I have not watched it yet.
Love boat,
But,
baby. Hey.
But Samuel L. Jackson was on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert the other night promoting it, and it turns out that the story is based on a true story that happened in Atlanta when Muhammad Ali was coming back to boxing, and it's about a robbery. Don't think it quite qualifies as a heist, but apparently Samuel L. Jackson's wife had a family member at the place where people got robbed. So he was just kind of going like, "Yeah, I knew about this because I was at Morehouse at the time, and my soon-to-be wife's like cousin basically was at that robbery. Was one of the people who got robbed."
Whoa.
So it's like, oh, that's fascinating.
I'll watch that.
Yeah. So let's see, stuff I consumed this week. It was nice to not be on an airplane, so I actually got to watch My Hero Academia with the kids.
Okay.
Where you at? Where you at?
Right now, the Redestro was just in the offices of the commission, and shit happened.
Yeah, you passed me now, buddy.
I think I'll just leave it at that. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still at the siege of the headquarters, and they just woke up the bad guy.
Oh, you've got some interesting stuff coming up.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Getting to my dad TV, still enjoying Only Murders in the Building.
Oh,
so good.
Yeah, it's a great season so far.
It's just been fun, and I'm loving it.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. And for comic news this week, bring me in close, Tony.
All right.
For Carrie, Space Ghost number 5.
yes.
Holy Mother of God. If you've not read this yet,
I've not. No.
That's a cool cover.
like I said, Zorak, when I was a kid, don't remember him being menacing and threatening. Right here. This is what you
Yeah,
want.
Exactly.
That's the stuff. Going back to our Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, powerless, taking on Amanda Waller's everything with Wally West as the Flash. And it's really fun seeing Wally and Hal together because Wally refers to him as, in classic times, as Uncle Hal. And it's like, oh, that's right. Wally grew up admiring this guy as a kid.
Okay.
Wolverine number 1.
Cover.
It's also a homage cover. This is an interesting take on Wolverine getting kind of a little bit back to basics. You do get a cameo, actually a little more than a cameo, from Nightcrawler.
Oh.
And it's an interesting take of Wolverine post-Krakoa getting his bearings. Nostalgia. Gotcha, man.
Oh, there you go.
Number 3, June fights alone. And she's whooping some ass
Of course she is.
by herself. And it's like, yeah, she got it. She can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, and I've mentioned this book before, Primer,
Yes.
Clashing Colors number 3. This is the third issue of the 3-issue limited series. And it's a great coming of age story. It does, for me, it sticks the landing pretty well. You get to see the Teen Titans, not quite Teen Titans Go-esque in their ineffectiveness for certain things, but not Teen Titans animated series seriousness. So it's a little silly, but it's a fun book, and I recommend getting all 3 issues if you can. Go back and find the original graphic novel Primer and enjoy it as one big story. And that's what I got for you.
Oh, thank you very much. All right, who's next? Lee?
I'll go. It's okay. Still getting into Arrested Development for the twice a year watch through. But we remembered season 4 and the amazing bit of the mom deciding that she's going to smoke, even though that's not allowed in her condo. So she's breathing her smoke into Buster's mouth so he can run it to the window. It goes on for like 5 minutes, and I'm dead at the end of it every single time. Rings of Power. I love it so much. I feel bad for people who, like, if you don't like Lord of the Rings or fantasy, cool. That's fine. But the people who like this stuff, who are just like shitting all over the show, I feel kind of bad for you because you're missing out on some cool stuff. But it's like the budget's up there with the Peter Jackson stuff. It's right up there. Like,
Dude, it's higher. It's
yeah,
higher than the Peter Jackson stuff.
I'm adjusting for inflation, but it's
Fair.
like,
Okay.
you want 100,000 orcs marching towards Elf City? You got it. It's just anyway. I love it. It's so good. I went down a rabbit hole. I was watching I had some Fred Berry videos pop up on my YouTube feed, and I was like, I gotta watch Rerun dance. He's such a good dancer. And the next thing you know, I'm like, what the hell is Toni Basil doing there? And it's like, oh, holy shit. Okay. So then I go down this rabbit hole and I find this dance troupe from the early 70s called the Lockers, which was Fred Berry, Toni Basil, Don Campbell Lock. And I've watched like 100 hours of Lockers videos.
Yes.
Because it's like, if you like breakdancing, this is literally the beginning of it. It's like all these kids street dancing and just coming up with stuff that 10 years later we're going to, you know, like the beginning of the worm. They jump up in the air and land. They don't do the worm part, but you're like the jumping up in the air and landing parts there. So anyway.
If it doesn't have ray gun, I'm not interested.
Get out.
Yeah, these guys. Only murders left in the building. Sorry, only murders in the building.
How many murders are left?
No,
well, there's a lot of apartments. Just saying.
Yeah. At least one more. Yeah.
This show and Only Lovers Left Alive keep getting themselves jumbled up in my brain as titles. So, and they could be nothing alike at all. So,
Only Murders Left Alive.
Yeah. Kevin Hart closed all of his vegan restaurants in Southern California.
I read that this morning. Yeah.
Why?
I didn't know we had any.
That's the thing. I didn't either.
Listen, I talked to Kevin Hart twice a year on the phone, and he didn't tell me anything about it. So,
not a word.
I watched a lawyer completely bait a career criminal into losing his mind on TV for 90 minutes. That was cool.
That was great.
Rachel really wanted to watch Argylle, so we watched Argylle, to which I say, the power of editing, Guy Ritchie. Please, discover it. Yeah. And then...
Rebecca's triggered, sorry.
It's not Guy Ritchie, it's Matthew Vaughn.
It was Vaughn. Yeah, okay. Sorry.
No, but that's why it's even more disappointing.
Right. Well, Vaughn started out, if I remember correctly, working with Guy Ritchie. Like, they have a close... so I get them jumbled up. Also, brain broken.
Their style's kind of similar, too. So.
Very. Rebecca, you know how you like Lost?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. So, you know the people that made Lost?
Yeah.
Imagine if they did it off network.
Okay.
Yeah, and imagine though they're like, Harold Perrineau, you want to do a show about some people who occasionally get lost and end up in a weird town?
I know what show you're talking about, and it is on my to-watch list.
No, put it on your now list.
What are we talking about?
From. It's called From. And basically the premise is, if you're driving along or walking along or whatever else, and there's a tree in the road or in your path or whatever else, and you go around it, you're gonna go to this weird town where
you're gonna get frommed.
You're gonna get frommed, and there's some weird freaking monsters there, and they're gonna eat your guts, but they're freaky and they smile a lot. And the show is it's Lost Part 2.
Well,
and
I only discovered this week that Harold Perrineau's daughter is in Chaos. She's the...
Well, and they didn't even know. So apparently, I read an interview that she had done, and apparently when they were casting for that role in particular, the mood board for that character was Harold Perrineau in Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
And not from Hellblazer,
so they cast her, and she was like, by the way, that's my dad.
Yeah. So anyway, watch From. It's fantastic. It's intense. And then the thing I found that I thought, it'll be fun. It'll be a little pastime. And now I'm absolutely hooked. Won't be any surprise. But Rob, pick this up for your girls.
What's that?
This is the Delicious in Dungeon manga from 2016.
Oh.
And it is everything that is great about the anime series, but they take their time a little bit more. And like,
hey, that book opens the wrong direction.
Well, yeah, you do go the wrong way. But my favorite thing, it ends with the living armor story arc in this first issue. But they actually stop and give you the nutritional breakdown of every recipe.
Oh,
look at that. You can see right here the fat, calcium, protein, and energy.
That's awesome.
I love it. I've already ordered the next 3 volumes because it's like, you just sit down for a couple hours and read and enjoy the lighthearted humor. I knew Ryoko Kui, she loved playing D&D, and this is all her D&D sessions with her friends, made this awesome manga, which made a delightful anime series that is actually very faithful to the manga. So
excellent. Good to hear.
Could not recommend it more. And the art is fun. Like, I wish I'd had this when I was 14 and learning how to draw, because I would have drawn these characters nonstop. So
awesome.
Couldn't recommend it more.
All right.
That's it for me.
Thank you. Who's next?
I'll go
Rebecca,
next.
Tony?
Last episode of Kite Man, hell yeah.
Oh,
Hell
I need to
yeah.
went
finish
on
that.
this
yes.
week, and that show was a lot better than I thought it would be. I wasn't expecting much out of it, but by the end of the season, I was like, dang, I really hope this gets a second season because it was a lot of fun. So I highly recommend Kite Man if you even had a passing interest in the Harley Quinn cartoon, because it's very similar to the Harley Quinn cartoon. Also, we watched like 13 episodes of Kevin Can F Himself this week.
Good show.
That show is crazy. Like,
Tony's been messaging me while he watches it.
yeah, because I'm just like, what the heck just happened here?
Wow.
Oh, I actually feel bad for this character now. Blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah. Oh, man. So I'm afraid to ask, but I'm going to ask anyway. Does the show actually wrap up with season 2, or did we get a stupid...
It wraps up.
Okay, good. Excellent. Yeah.
Good question though. Good question.
Yeah, so we're loving that show. It is really cool. And then let's see what else. Finished season 2 of the Big Door Prize.
Oh, yeah.
I could see why it's not getting a third season. It was okay. Like it was fine, but it wasn't, anything super special. And then I watched this super random movie. I don't think I talked about this yet. It's called Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls. No? Okay. It's on Prime, and it's this...
You just told me everything I need to know.
Well, it came out last year, and it was Sundance Selection. So it actually, has, I don't know, bona fides behind it. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway.
More like boner fides.
Hey, got him. It's a movie made off of a YouTube character that a guy made called Onyx the Fortuitous. And if you remember back in the day, there was the guy that always seemed to be interviewed by news places at weird, like Arby's and other places, and he talked really fast and would just randomly talk about stuff like how he was a Satan worshiper and all these, goofy things. And he made a whole movie out of it with this character. And when the movie isn't trying to lean into copying the jokes from a bunch of the old videos, it's actually pretty freaking funny. It's almost like if Hot Rod and some sort of horror movie had a baby. Like,
Hot Rod in some sort of horror movie.
Some sort of horror movie, I had a good time with it. I thought it was pretty freaking funny.
You said the show was Onyx. I thought it was about the hip hop group, and
That's where I went.
No.
Sticky fingers.
Slam.
What?
Definitely not.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
This guy's
Is
about
this one of your Hulu movies?
No, well, kind of, but it's on Amazon Prime. But yeah, it's I thought it was funny. Anyway, Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls. Check it out if you want to watch a goofy horror comedy.
See,
And,
you mentioned the title, and you mentioned that you watched it on Amazon Prime, and I'm thinking about all the Italian rip-off movies from the 70s that are on Amazon Prime.
The amount of weird movies
Yeah.
on Amazon Prime is almost limitless.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be like, okay, somebody in Italy saw BJ and the Bear, and they went home and they're like, okay, here we pitched this show. He's a truck driver, right? And he's got 7 sexy lady vampires.
Yep. That's something you'd find on there for sure.
Yeah. And we don't have money for gorillas, so we hired a man in Yeti suit. By the way, that's my incredible European accent.
It was
Pat
great.
did. Yeah,
I felt like I was there.
It fits any country in Europe. That's what's great about it. Yeah.
Any of them.
Any
You
of them.
never know.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was French for a second. Rebecca.
Okay. Carrie last week talked about the 1% Club. I'm addicted to this show. Put me on it. I will crush it. I will win $1 million. And they're only offering $100,000. So
That's amazing. How would you do that?
Get on it 10 times.
yeah, put me on it. I'll crush it. The only book I have to talk about this week, it's called The Situation Room, written by George Stephanopoulos, and it's about the history of the Situation Room in the White House and various crises during various presidencies. If you care about that stuff, it's pretty interesting. And movies, Rebel Ridge, like we talked about last week. Watched Rebel Ridge. Carrie will talk about that a little bit later, but that rocked. That was pretty cool. Not a shoot 'em up like you would think. The trailer leads you to believe it's a shoot 'em up. It is not a shoot 'em up.
No.
There was a movie that came out earlier this year that I had kind of been dying to watch called ISS, and it's about the International Space Station, and there are U.S. astronauts and Russian astronauts, and so they're all in the space station. And then if you look down on Earth, a nuclear war has broken out. And,
no.
Whoa.
And both the Russians and the U.S. astronauts get messages from their respective countries like, "Hey, war has just broken out. You got to take the ISS by any means necessary." And so it's a little bit of a ruh-roh. How are they going to get out of this one? Mm-hmm. And I was hoping for a bad movie. I was hoping for a bad movie in the sense of like, do you remember Moonfall and how great that was?
Nope.
I was hoping. I wish Roland Emmerich had directed this. Otherwise, it's just kind of it is just instead kind of a tense thriller. I just wish it was bad. It was bad in its own way.
Well, Eric reminds me it's also the plot of the sequel to 2001, 2010. That also happens in 2010.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then also, new release this week. There's 2 new releases that came out this week. The Killer's Game starring Dave Bautista and Sofia Boutella, and Speak No Evil starring James McAvoy. I went to the theater fully intending to buy a ticket for Killer's Game, which is the Dave Bautista movie.
Yes.
I instead bought a ticket for Speak No Evil and watched the James McAvoy movie.
Like on accident, or you changed your mind when you got there?
We changed our mind at like the last minute. Speak No Evil, it's based on a movie that came out in 2022. It was a Danish
Dutch?
movie.
Yeah.
Danish horror movie. More thrillery than horror. But almost immediately remade by Blumhouse, starring James McAvoy. And it's about this family that they meet another family on vacation, and then this other family invites them to come stay with them. And things are weird. And
We would like to have you for dinner.
Here's the thing. Anytime James McAvoy goes weird, I am there 100%.
Oh, yeah.
that's the thing. I will follow James McAvoy to the gates of hell.
He is fascinating.
Whatever
to
he
watch.
wants to do,
Yep.
I am there. And he hamming it up. Really
Nice.
hamming it up in this one.
Nice.
And so if you like James McAvoy being hammy, here he is. There's a moment where he takes his shirt off. He's got a tank top on, but he takes his flannel off, and both me and my friend at the same time went, "He's so huge."
He got huge for
For
the
Split.
the Shyamalan
Yeah.
movie. Yep.
Yeah. And it was whatever. If you have seen the original, the ending is different from the original. They have Americanized the ending. So I
A lot of
liked it.
processed cheese or what?
Yeah, it's a lot of single-use plastics.
Yeah.
But it was I wish I didn't know what to expect, honestly. So if you see this movie and you have not seen the original, let me know what you think of it, because I'm curious to know what you thought of it, not knowing how it originally ends. That's all.
I guess. I read this morning, Jim. Joaquin Phoenix was supposed to do Split, and then left a month before.
So I saw this too. So my question is, can James McAvoy do the gay sex movie that Joaquin Phoenix just walked away from?
Oh, there we go. If we're swapping,
Quite the career flex.
I like
I,
it.
Yeah.
I pick up Joaquin Phoenix's discarded roles.
I also saw this comment that regarding how I wish Roland Emmerich did ISS. Roland Emmerich is redoing Lawrence of Arabia.
I couldn't confirm this story anywhere.
Yeah. God, I hope not. I love Lawrence of Arabia as is.
This is just going to give you a chance to love it in a different way.
I hope the moon comes to Earth.
The whole train bed at the end of the movie is going to be 3 minutes long,
Yeah.
but all slow motion.
Again, I couldn't find any confirmation from a reliable source about that story, so
Yeah.
I think you might be safe, Rebecca.
In the American ending, they had to pay for health care. Good job, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew. You did it. Let's see. Rebel Ridge enjoyed it. Could have used some editing. felt it was a little long.
It's a little long.
But
It was
you're
a
right.
little long.
But you're right, Rebecca. They sell it as a shoot 'em up, but there were no outrageous shoot 'em ups. There were no outrageous car chases. There were no flaming arrows.
I'm gonna be honest. That makes me less inclined to see it, knowing that now. I want to see some action.
Well, there's
You
action.
get action,
Oh,
Tony.
okay,
You
okay.
get action.
But it's-
oh
As long
my
as there's
god,
some
it's so
action.
there's a scene. This is a tiny spoiler, not going to ruin anything. He shows up to the police station, and they're Googling him.
As he's standing right there.
But their internet goes out. He shows up, they're Googling him, their internet goes out. They have to like reset the router or something. They're Googling him. He shows up on a Wikipedia page, which you in the audience, you're like, oh shit, he shows up on a Wikipedia page.
That means he's got history.
That means he knows his shit.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. It was one of my favorite parts was after getting his money confiscated by the cops, because he made the mistake of having a lot of cash on hand. Well, the police can seize that stuff, and he went the next day to the same police department and said, "I'd like to report a robbery." Like, okay, well, can you describe the person who stole from you? Yeah, he's about this big, and he's describing the cop that's standing behind him. You know, I just loved that. That was so cool. Anyway, yeah. So Rebel Ridge, quite enjoyed it. I watched on Disney Plus. It's a 4-part series, miniseries, Star Wars: Rebuild the Galaxy.
Well, that's what the First Order is trying to do.
Well, this was interesting, and it was like a kid had his Legos and he was taking the good guys and the bad guys and
Them kiss.
and making them kiss. Yeah, there were. Well, what happens is the plot is that there's this one Lego piece that is being guarded by. This is a deep dive. Jedi Bob. Now, Jedi Bob actually appeared in a Lego set, I think 10 years ago. He was just this generic Jedi, and he was just referred to as Jedi Bob.
Kind of like 1980-something space guy.
Yeah, and Bobby Moynihan is the voice. But Jedi Bob is there to guard this Jedi temple where this one piece that holds the fabric of the universe, the Star Wars universe, together. And this one kid finds he has certain force abilities. He can build and rebuild things. That's his force abilities.
Oh, he's Emmett.
Yeah, and he gets the piece. He gets that one piece that's holding the whole place together. And so the entire Star Wars universe is shuffled. And so Greedo's a good guy.
What?
You know,
How can the Greedo be? Oh no, I'm thinking of water.
Sebulba?
yeah. Well, Sebulba's not there.
Bro.
It's Max Rebo is now the pod racing king. Well, actually, Luke Skywalker is the pod racing king. Tatooine is a water planet now. It's
I don't like that. I don't like this.
Everything is just shuffled. The Jedi Council is Sheev Palpatine, Darth Vader, all in white, Jabba.
Awesome.
I don't like it.
So is this good? I mean, you have my attention.
Well, that's just it. I want you guys to watch this and tell me what you think. I think I enjoyed it.
Because it sounds like Lego Star Wars Secret Wars.
Yes.
So Lego Star Secret Wars is what it sounds like.
But
Sound
yeah,
like- or more like almost more like Lego Star Wars God Doom.
That's what I'm saying. Secret Wars.
Oh, is that what that was called?
Yeah.
How many
Yeah.
Secret Wars have they had? Okay.
but it's
Okay.
but it's
We don't
four-
know. They were secrets.
But it's 4 episodes. They're like a half hour each, so you can easily consume it in no time at all. And you do get Darth Jar Jar.
About time.
You
Now you're speaking my language.
See, the way you said, I think I liked this is how I felt watching Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls. I'm like, I think I like this. I don't know, though.
Well, I think that it's got a heavier message than I think it's tricking you. It's being sold to you as this light Lego show. But I think it's got a bigger message about playing God. I could be wrong. I'm just
Well, I
gonna
guess I know what I'm doing this afternoon.
I'm just gonna lay that at your
Playing
feet
God?
there. Yeah, I'm just gonna
Yes.
lay that at your feet there, and maybe it'll connect, or you'll go, no, it was just a dumb Lego show. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know.
If somebody called you in and said, "Did you enjoy this?" Yes or no?
I'd say yes.
Sure.
Own that shit. Did you enjoy it?
I did actually.
There you go.
It had some cool stuff in it. I
that's
want
when
to. I want to tell you, but it's all spoilers,
That's when I usually go into IMDb and I look the show up and I'm like, what's the general consensus? Did I like this?
I watched the Lego Holiday Special a couple years ago where Kylo was all sad because Darth Vader wouldn't talk to him about anything, and if I remember correctly, Darth Vader just wanted to build a sandcastle on the beach.
Yeah.
Like it's good stuff. It's really entertaining.
Well, this one, but see, and that's the usual take in these Lego Star Wars shows.
Yeah.
It's wacky. It's that kind of thing. There's something happening in this show that I think is deeper than we're led to believe.
Is it trying to teach us?
Or I was high. I don't know.
You caught into how they're conditioning our kids with liberal propaganda.
Don't be teaching
I guess
me
so.
nothing.
I don't know. Anyway, that's what I consumed this. Oh, and there's so many services I can never remember. This one was I want to say it was
Tubi.
Peacock, maybe.
Pluto.
Eddie Izzard's special Wunderbar.
Nice.
Very good. Very good stuff.
She's amazing.
Yes. So enjoy that. Anyway, that's what I got. Games, anything?
Oh yeah, for sure.
How far have you gotten with Squirrel with a Gun?
I made it out of the first neighborhood area and got a shotgun, an Uzi, a pistol, and I've seen a grenade launcher, but I haven't been able to get it yet.
Got any clothes? Have you got any hats?
Just the ones that I haven't, not anything new.
Yeah, no fun outfits.
Not yet, but I'm sure they're on the way.
You didn't get Oscar Isaac's zoot suit from Frankenstein?
I didn't.
Did you guys hear Oscar Isaac is going to play Jesus in a movie?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Somehow he returned.
But,
no,
but
but it's-
the movie's about Charles Dickens taking his
Yep.
son through time.
What the heck?
No, I didn't catch that part. No.
What the heck?
And his son is secretly Oscar Wilde.
Christ, is that true?
No, Oscar Wilde was a very unwelcome house guest in the Dickens house. He was supposed to stay the weekend, and he stayed for
Oh
like
yeah,
3
yeah,
months.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there's journal entries. There's these amazing journal entries of Charles Dickens, just like, oh, one more day with Oscar. Delightful.
Great.
Rebecca. Go ahead, Tony. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say games coming out this week. Final Fantasy 16 coming out on the PC. You'll be able
My
to play
stars
it.
and garters.
Yep. Star Wars
Thank you,
Jedi
Beast.
Survivor coming out on PS4 and Xbox One. They ported it backwards. So now it's on the old systems and the current systems.
Okay.
And I can say that they patched the PC version now. I played some of it this morning. It runs a lot better at first.
Outlaws?
At first look, no, Jedi Survivor.
Oh.
Actually, no, but they did patch Outlaws as well, and it runs a lot better too than it did last week.
Well,
so
that's Tony's rule: is you wait a month.
Yep.
it is. Yep.
I'm giving that a month before I buy it, and I'm giving Space Marine 2 a month before I buy it, even though it's hurting me every minute that I breathe without playing it.
Yeah, that game looks pretty rad. I'm gonna pick that one up
Yeah.
too for sure.
Let me know. I want to play with you.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah.
Rebecca, I want to thank you for a game recommendation or a game confirmation. The girls had their birthdays last week, this past
Oh
weekend.
yeah, I meant to ask you about that.
And that went fine. Sleepover last night. The house is still standing, so I'm good. I had a house full of teenagers.
Wow. Oh, sorry.
No, they were actually. It was oddly very quiet, which in itself is kind of scary.
Yeah, that's
But
scary.
one of the things that one of the girls asked for was Little Kitty Big City, which they tore through,
Hell yeah.
and they loved it. So thank you very much for
You
for
are
confirming that.
welcome.
You see, Rebecca, you'd be a good mom. Oh wait, how did JD Vance get in here? I'm sorry.
Oh, see, Rebecca makes that cool aunt down the street, just like
Yes.
here, and then go home.
What are you
Yeah.
doing wasting your time? Have some kids.
I was yesterday. I was like, oh my god, do I have baby fever? And then I had to like stop and remind myself like about all of the things. that I hate.
And then
No,
you're
I
like,
don't.
oh no, wait, it's COVID.
Yeah.
That's just a fever.
A fever. Anyway, thanks you all for joining us. We're heading over to the after party. It's an invitation only kind of a situation. You have to go to geekshowgotthiscovered.com. That's the link to our Patreon, and you can join us. We're headed over there.
I'll be rating my 5 COVID immunizations from favorite to least favorite. over the
I'm
last
looking
5
forward
years.
to this.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All that coming up. But again, thank you for joining us today. Live long and prosper, bitches.